John White with HCEC-TV, and I'm here with another episode of HCS Spotlight. It's a program where we go around and interview different students and faculty about special things that they have accomplished in Hardin County schools. Today, even though it's at the height of summer, we're at East Hardin Middle School because their Beta Club won some national championships. And we thought we'd come by and speak with not only Molly Hazel, who is your sponsor, your Beta Club sponsor, but some of the students who actually won and have them speak a little bit about what they did. So what I'm going to have Miss Molly to do first is introduce herself, and then she can pass the microphone down to each person in turn, and they can introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Molly Hazel. I'm the head Beta sponsor at East Hardin Middle School. I'm also an art teacher. This is my 11th year being involved with the Beta Club.
Hello, my name is Crystal Canada, and I'm a STEM teacher here at East Hardin Middle School. I also am an assistant sponsor to Miss Hazel, and this is my second year being involved with the Beta Club.
I am John Malone, and I am going into 7th grade. And we won nationals in solo duo trio.
Hi, I'm Lucy Malone. I'm going into the 7th grade at East Hardin Middle School, and I won Beta National Champion in solo duo trio variety act and performing arts large group.
Hello, I am Reagan Castor. I am going into the 9th grade at Central Hardin. I placed in group talent, songfest, musicology, scrapbook, quilling. I think that's it.
I'm Lucas Castor, and I placed in group talent, large group, at national level, and I placed in scrapbook, robotics, songfest, and group talent, all at state level.
All right, you can pass it back down. All right, fantastic. Well, congratulations before we delve into all this about these fantastic finishes that you did. Ms. Hazel, if you would, explain a bit about what this championship was. I assume this was teams from all across the country.
Yes.
Was there just one representative from every state, or how did that work?
Well, at the national level, it's 18 states, primarily in the southeast, but also encompassing like Indiana, Oklahoma, Illinois, so a few states a little bit west, but mainly the southeast region. There are several schools from all of those 18 states representatives, so it's not just one from each state. But you have to place top 5 in your state in order to qualify for even the national competition. So if you place below 5th, you cannot qualify for the nationals. So it will be top 5 in each category from each state.
Great, so a lot of competitors then there were.
Yes, sir. I think 37 in large group, 37 or 40 that we competed against in large group.
So even more impressive that you were able to come out on top amongst all these great students from across the country, that you were chosen as the top of them all.
Yes.
So that was great. So tell me a little bit about more specifically about the 2 categories, I guess you would say, that you finished first in, that being the solo duo trio, which you mentioned earlier,
Yes.
and the group talent. So tell me a little bit more about what encompassed those 2 categories.
Okay, so large group talent, you have to have more than 12 members. At the state level, we had 95 in our group talent. At the national level, more like between 75 and 80, but still quite a bit. You can only perform up to 4 minutes, and you try to encompass all of the performing arts you can. We had musicians playing the guitar, we had vocalists, we had dancers, we had even stage combat guys, like a little martial arts. We had narrators that just did stage acting and speaking. So we tried to encompass all of it, and we invented a from scratch routine about the journey of Beta, because that was the theme was voyage. A voyage of Beta, or a voyage of adventure, excuse me. And our skit took you through Beta from 1934, when it was first developed in South Carolina, through the first convention ever in Orlando in the 80s, through the national convention in Savannah, Georgia in 2024. So we did songs like Devil Went Down to Georgia. We did a little tribute to Buffett, Margaritaville, and did Betaville. When we did Florida, and we had all in Hawaiian gear. And then we did James Taylor, Carolina on My Mind for the South Carolina. So we tried to pick songs from kind of representing a little bit of each state, and we showcased these kids' amazing talents. And what was most impressive is we went up against schools that were performing arts schools that you have to try out to get in, and we're a public school, and I was just so proud of these kids and how hard they work. And we start in August, so we do put a lot of work into this, and
Well,
it takes a lot of people.
That's fantastic. I didn't realize that there were actual schools of art that you accomplish or compete against.
Yes.
Not just public schools, but schools like that
That's
as well.
who beat us last year was a performing arts school out of Texas.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, but we beat them this year. That's right.
Well, we also have some videos that we're going to show of some of the performances, and of course, behind us here are some examples of the artwork as well as the trophies, and we're going to show a little bit more of that as well. Was it Miss Canada?
Yeah.
It is.
Okay. Explain a little bit more about your role in this.
So when I started helping Molly, I believe it was last year, all the years start to roll together, but I will have to just say, her overall demeanor is just truly inspiring, and I really wanted to help these kids move along and learn to collaborate and build relationships, and I've seen that so much just over this past year. But my main role, being a STEM teacher, and I was also a VEX robotics coach last year, was to do their robotics program for Beta. So we placed 5th in state and was able to take that to nationals. We did not place at nationals, but our kids did such an amazing job, and it was just a great overall experience for them.
Well, great. Thank you for participating in this. Sounds like it was very rewarding.
Yes.
Not just for you, but for everybody. So thank you for doing that. So one thing I would like to do before we actually see the videos and some of the pictures, I want each of you young folks here to talk more about your specific role, what you did. Just a little bit, kind of what you chose to do, what kind of performance you did, what kind of art you made, that sort of thing. So, young man, if we wouldn't mind starting with you, can you just explain a little bit more about that?
So I played drums in solo duo trio with my sister and brother, and we played Rolling in the Deep by Adele. And I'm just happy I did it with my siblings, because I feel like if you didn't do it with your siblings, then it could be harder to kind of get more practice in. You would have to schedule those, and we just could go down in the basement and do it. So, yeah.
So you're really into drums, I guess?
Yeah.
Are you going to continue on playing those?
Yeah, I hope so.
All right. Well, good luck with that. All right, how about you, young lady?
So I competed in the variety act with my brother and my other brother who couldn't be here today, and I did lead vocalist, and I did bass, and I think it was like a really fun experience to compete against a bunch of different people, because when you do the variety act, there's a lot of different things that are in a lot of different things that you can do, and I thought it was really fun to just do it with my siblings and have fun. And I did Betaville. I sang with my partner Jude Tabor, and it was really fun. It was really fun to work with all the people. They were all super nice, and we had a really fun time.
Great. How about you, young lady?
So I, of course, competed in the group talent. That's just, I don't know how to describe it. It's an amazing feeling just to be on stage and to perform with my brother and some of my best friends. And then I was also on the musicology team. I am a music nerd, so it was really fun to just show off like the talents in the music, knowledge that I know. And then I was also, I placed 4th at the national level for my quilling. It's the art of rolled paper. There was at least 72 hours worth of work that went into that. So it was really fun to be able to do something on my own and get to showcase that at the national convention, and then get to place top 5 and just to know that I was the first one to place 4th at nationals for the quilling competition. So it was just a really fun experience for that. And then I also competed in the scrapbook with my brother, and we did not place, but it was really fun to be at home and to work on those things together. So yeah.
Well, I got a couple questions actually first. So quilling, I'm sorry, I've never heard of that before. What, you said it was the art of rolling paper?
So
I'm sorry, we're going to get some shots of that also. But you can go ahead.
So I have these little strips of paper that are like 0.75 millimeters. And I have a little tool that I put the paper in, and I roll it up, and then I just take glue and I sit there and I hold it for like an hour to get it to hold.
Wow.
And then I got to glue it on the board, and I really wanted to go big this year with the 2 canvases, and I love doing the adiptic with 2 canvases and the color schemes. Those are really fun to showcase with. You can use the different textures and the different colors and make it look really like texturized, and you just want to like touch it and it looks so cool.
Great. Well, that sounds like that is amazing. I've never heard of that art form before, but
Neither. Yeah.
okay. And like I said, we'll show some pictures of that also. What you did. Did you do the other artwork back here?
I did not. No.
Okay. Was that's somebody that's not here, right?
Yes.
Okay.
People.
Yes.
They dropped off their work for me.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll show some video of that as well. All right. How about you, young man?
So basically in robotics, I had to do a speaking role, and yes, I messed up, but I recovered. And in large group talent, I had to do a dancing role in the center of the stage, and it was terrifying. But I had a partner, so it was perfectly fine. If I messed up, my partner messed up too. So yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you, Quinn Yates. So yeah. And scrapbook, I had same like what John said. Like I had to we would have to add scheduled stuff if I didn't work with my sister, because it's just you have to.
Keep it in the family.
Yeah, it's fun to keep it in the family, and yeah, it's just really fun.
So a big audience that you were performing in
Yes,
front of.
a lot.
I can imagine that was.
15,000, something like that.
Oh my gosh.
15,000 at the national level. I think 15 to 20 is what they said was there.
Oh my gosh. So I'm sure you've never been in front of that big of a crowd before.
Never.
I can imagine that would be extremely nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you did good though.
He did. He did terrific.
Great. All right. So yeah, if you wouldn't mind passing down to Miss Hazel again.
Yes.
So right now we're going to break before I finish up the interview, and we're going to show you some of the video that was shot from some of the performances. So let's take a look at that right now.
Now performing, East Hardin Middle School, Kentucky.
Hey Amari, what's going on your mind?
Carolina.
Carolina?
Yup, South Carolina to be exact. Have you ever wondered how it all began?
How what all began?
How beta all began?
I guess I never thought about it, but I ain't gonna be curious.
Well then, let's go back in time to 1934, where J.W. Harris had a vision of leadership and service.
So that's why South Carolina's been on your mind?
Yes, sir, it is. Let's go back in time to 1934. In my mind, I'm going to Carolina. Can't you see the sunshine? Can't you feel the moonshine? Ain't it just like a friend of mine to hit me from behind? Yes, I'm going to Carolina in my mind.
What in the world are you wearing?
You like it? I'm inspired by the 80s, man.
The 80s, why? Is that where Uncle taking us next?
Why, yes it is, my dear friend. We're going to the 80s, 1981 to be exact.
Cool, what city are we going to now?
We're going to Orlando, Florida, the site of the first ever Beta convention.
Alright, so let's go have some fun down in Betaville.
Taking it all in at the convention. All of these days trying to win me over. All of these mortals, talent and songbirds. So much talent coming out, so much more. True, friend, there is a lot of history with Beta, but there's also a lot going on right now in 2024.
Cool, tell me where we're going. Tell me.
We're going to this year's National Beta Convention in Savannah, Georgia to see some betas battle it out in a little healthy competition. My friend, we're going down to Georgia!
They were taking their time trying to find a hard-working crew. When they came across some folks who needed help, they had thought, we'll serve and lead these folks in need, we'll give it everything we've got. Now y'all do pretty good service, kids, but give these bids their dues for the black and gold you've been told to give out. Well, we're East Hardin's Beta Club, and we are here to win. We'll take your fare, you're gonna regret, 'cause we're the best there's ever been.
Hey, let's do your service well, achieve your very best. Now we're down here in Georgia and there is no time to rest. Let's lead by serving others and remember you've been told. Betas everywhere, the black and
All right, that was fantastic. And before we wrap up this episode, I want Ms. Hazel to explain a little bit about what beta is in general. You may have heard of beta, but really not known what it meant. So, Molly, if you wouldn't mind explaining a little bit more about what that is.
Sure. It is primarily a leadership organization. It's the National Junior Beta Club. The junior is 6th, 7th, and 8th. There's also a senior in high school and elementary, which is just 4th and 5th grade. The students have to make all A's and B's and make that throughout the year. They have to do 24 hours of service throughout the year and turn in their service hours at Christmas and in May. And sometimes we do things together, like we'll volunteer at Warm Blessings or Feeding America, or a lot of times the children will donate items. Last year we raised about $9,000 for an Eastern Kentucky school to attend convention with us after the devastating flood. You might have heard our work then. So we try to some years do a big project, but service is our primary goal. They also have to maintain outstanding discipline throughout the school year and basically be a role model for other students. And the 4 pillars of beta are character, leadership, service, and achievement. And we try to find students that exemplify all 4 of those pillars. And I run things a little differently at East Hardin. I invite everyone who wants to try to be in our club, but yet they still have to maintain the standards. So there are students that want to do it, but then they kind of fall short with grades or maybe discipline or service, and it may be not for them, but I allow everyone to think that they can do it to try to do it. So, and then some kids that have kind of a random, unique quality, like that they wouldn't be able to showcase any other way, like quilling. I mean, where else could you? Exactly. You know, and then like so I've got like my academic kids that are good at academic team and quick recall. I pull them for all of the academics. And then I pull my music kids that are good at band and performing arts, and I'm like, ooh, Lucy, you can sing, join beta. So we kind of try to pull, and me being the art teacher, I can pull strong arts kids, and we also have like literary activities like book battle and poetry and creative writing. So the language arts teachers, some of them are on my beta staff, and they pull the strong writers, and Miss Canada can help with all of the engineering and robotics kids, and it really is like a Mod Podge collective unit of all the best that we have here at East. And it's a pleasure every day to work with these kids. They're awesome.
Well, that's great to hear.
And these teachers.
That's great to hear, and thank you guys for participating. And I'm sure it's very rewarding for you as well. And I assume you're going to plan on sticking with it and going on and staying in beta for who knows how long?
Yeah. Yes.
We hope so. All right. Well, thank you all so much for participating in this segment, and congratulations again on your achievements, and good luck in the future. All right. All right. So, and thank you for joining us for another edition of HCS Spotlight.